What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So as you can tell by the title, I want to do a bit of speculation here because it seems like we still are getting some Transformers 1 sequels. If you guys don't know, I covered this a few days ago in one of my most recent videos on the channel, so if you want to go see that, it's on here. That Hasbro did an interview talking about some stuff with potential projects with Josh Cooley. So I just want to make this video talking about what could this be, where could they take Transformers 1's story with a potential trilogy that they've been talking about the past year on and off, I'd say. Right off the bat, the movie ends with the Autobots uniting, Optimus Prime becoming Optimus, Megatron becoming Megatron, and you see them kind of getting their final forms on Cybertron, all these characters, the Autobots mostly. So I definitely do think there's going to be the big conflict being Autobots versus Decepticons, right? And the ongoing conflict between Optimus and Megatron being the main driving force and factor behind the story and the war. Megatron having his own ideals on how they should handle Cybertron, and Optimus having his own, set of ideals on how they should govern the planet. And we're probably going to see the fall of Megatron even harder in the second and third movie, with him, I guess you could say, going to the dark side more and more as the movies go on. Because, let's be real, as Megatron goes on through the war, he just gets more and more crazy, more radical, and he just turns into a straight-up dictator. He throws all of his morality and what he originally stood for right out the window, to where we see him and, how he's portrayed in G1, Prime, IDW, all these different continuities. And I really do feel like they're going to try and spend time with that. He's going to start out in the second movie conflicted, kind of like the early years of Darth Vader. He's still got that little bit of Anakin within him and confliction. And then as the years go on, he just turns more and more to the evil Megatron that we know him as. And I really do feel like that's going to be one of the main storylines and character arcs for him. And I don't know where the story could go, but maybe there could be some sort of redemption arc, because it seems like Hasbro's really been trying to do that with Megatron lately. They did that in IDW, they did it in Earthspark. So it's definitely on the table for something that they could do with this version of Megatron, especially with how he's portrayed. And with Optimus, I think we're going to see him go more into the leadership role, being that father figure, the good guy of the story. And I don't know, maybe they could throw along the storyline that he's got some demons within him, some choices that he regrets making throughout the war. I think that would really bring some realism and some character to Optimus, who's usually portrayed as this perfect, larger-than-life sort of figure. Not in every continuity, obviously. I mean, you see faults in IDW, the movieverse, certain cartoon continuities like Unicron Trilogy, and, they've played around with that idea over the years, animated and stuff. But really delving into that more so in the movie realm is something that I think they could do more and do a bit better, because they attempted it with the Bayformers stuff, and even though I think it's blown a little out of proportion with the fandom, it is a bit much seeing Optimus act the way he does at times in battle. But I mean, I've said this before in previous videos, I'll say it here. When you're in war, it's war. This is not sunshine and rainbows. You can't just hug your enemy. So some crazy stuff is going to happen when you're trying to win a war and you're trying to kill somebody who's trying to kill you and destroy the planet and destroy humans and take over the whole universe. So when you put into that perspective, does it really matter how Optimus kills his enemies? I mean, come on. I really do feel like in the sequels, Optimus may make a decision or a couple decisions that he's going to regret or turn the tide of the war that may give Megatron the upper hand at times. They could play around with an idea like that. I really do think it could work, especially with how they've handled these characters with Transformers 1. I do really feel like it could make for an interesting story to watch unfold, and where they could take his character for development with a second and third movie. And the supporting characters on the Decepticon and Autobot side, I feel like we're going to get more of Shockwave, Soundwave, Starscream, all the other Seekers, maybe bring in some other B, C, D-list Decepticons that are more so in the forefront instead of the background this time around. And with the Autobots, I'd love to see Jazz take that second in command role. I mean, come on, guys. Let's stop playing around with Jazz and pussyfooting around the fact that he's Optimus's second in command, because he really is an integral part of the Autobot unit, especially the core unit, if you're going by the original continuity, IDW, and it really does feel like it's been lost in recent years, the importance of Jazz, especially with the movies and the recent cartoons, him not being featured as much. It seems like ever since, after Animated, because in Animated he had a pretty big role. He was one of the main members of the Elite Guard, and he was Ultra Magnus's right-hand man and Sentinel's right-hand man and stuff. So he was really integral in the Autobot team. And then after that, he kind of just went away with Hasbro. They just didn't use him as much. He had a cameo in RAD 2015, which was absolutely horrific. He was barely featured in the Netflix stuff, and he wasn't really in Cyberverse at all, if I think I'm remembering that correctly. And I'm pretty sure he's not in Earthspark, but I haven't seen some of the newer episodes, so I may be wrong on that. So really seeing Jazz take that main character role and that second in command role with Optimus, and seeing them, work together and plan things out in war, and, just having that interaction that we honestly never really have gotten. We got a little bit in the Bay movies, the first one, and a little bit in G1, but not to the level that I really think they could push the story and the interaction between Optimus and Jazz. So I really hope we get that in the sequels. And seeing other Autobots, that were background characters in one get more of a main character role. Ironhide, Hound, Sunstreaker, Sideswipe. Maybe throw in some other characters that aren't from G1, like from Beast Wars or Unicron Trilogy. Maybe they could bring in different factions, like the Combiners or Predacons, Maximals, really taking from different iterations. Like, it seems like Josh Cooley wanted to do more, but he didn't want to flood this first movie with too much lore or too many moving parts in terms of characters and factions, which I totally understand, especially for the first movie. So hopefully we get more world building in the second and third film, where we get to see some of those Maximal characters, Predacon characters, and so on. That would be really nice and really build out what they could do with the Transformers universe, especially in animated movie form. The possibilities are truly endless. That's why I'm really excited to see what Josh Cooley could potentially do with the Transformers franchise in the future. Now, he may not even be working on Transformers 1 projects. Like, Hasbro didn't specify in the interview what he's working on. I'm just assuming it is, because obviously he was the director of 1, so it just makes sense from that perspective. But it really could be the live-action film. He may be in talks to direct the G.I. Joe and Transformers collab movie, or some other movie that they plan on doing at some point down the line. Or I said this in, I think this was yesterday's video when I first covered the Hasbro interview. It could be for a cartoon, or it could be for putting some story elements into the comics or video games, overseeing that maybe. Because if you guys remember, Stephen Caple Jr. did direct an episode of Earthspark, and I think it was season 1. It may have been more than one episode, but I can't remember. But I definitely remember him doing at least one episode for Earthspark. So it makes me feel like he is in talks to maybe do some of the upcoming cartoons in the future. But I do think the more likely option is movies and maybe just sequels to Transformers 1. But who knows at this point? Anything is really possible with where they could go with things. So that's the interesting part we could speculate on right now. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Just wanted to talk about some things that I personally would like to see in sequels for 1 going forward. Let me know down in the comments below, what would y'all want to see in the sequels going forward. All my social medias are linked down below, including my email if you guys want to hit me up about business inquiries, or if you want to message me about whatever, or if you want to commission a diorama from me, because I make dioramas for people for their stop motions, photography, or irregular display shelves in your homes. You can either hit me up on any of my social media accounts or just email me and we can work out a deal. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye.